Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I've had a blog at chris.pirillo.com for the better part of 8 years now, right around there. And I've been writing on the internet at least since 1992, in a professional sense since 1996. But I've been publishing online for quite a while. And it's always been fun, exhilarating to be able to share my thoughts at the speed of click. And it's getting easier and easier to find me. In fact, you have to try hard not to find me. The tools are there. But just because you have a tool doesn't necessarily you know how to use that tool. And a big part of your blog, which is like a personal publishing platform, a chance for you to share your experiences in life with anybody who happens to visit that blog, the design is very important. And you can use a variety of templates for free. And you can make your own, certainly. You can choose any kind of blog platform. You can get a blog for free. You could pay a host to have a blog. I mean, you can slice it a million different ways. A blog isn't necessarily a community, though. That's something you got to remember. You have a community that follows you, certainly, and the blog is where they comment, but it's just one part of a greater community. I've always known this. I've always seen this. But part of a good blog isn't just what you're putting on it and connecting with the audience who finds it. And it could be about anything you want it to be about. But this particular topic that I'm going to dive into was submitted by Joaquin, who writes the top 5 ways to improve your blog's usability. And that's just as important as what you're writing about, what you're sharing. If someone who's visiting doesn't know where to find it, it doesn't do you any good to even have it there in the first place. Usability is paramount. And for that reason, and that reason alone, I'm going to be working with a designer, an information architect, to take all of my ideas about what can be on a blog, potentially, and we're going to design a premium theme for free, and it's going to be a WordPress theme. It's going to allow you to better integrate all of these other social identities that you carry throughout the web. And the hope is that we're going to begin work on this in the month of April, and it should be a relatively quick turnaround. I'm going to be very particular about what goes where, because for me it's optimizing not just the usability and what goes inside the blog template, but also keeping in mind advertising. Some people like advertising in their blog. The reason I'm going to be able to do it for free is because it's going to be based on donations. So if people like what they see and they want to change the blog template, they can, but I just ask for a donation, whatever they want to give. And people have been donating to the live stream just by clicking the button. I've gotten donations from, $1 all the way up to $50. One of you guys donated that much, and I'm very, very grateful for that. It really, every little bit helps. But I'm also going to include in the blog template some default links. And hey, it's a free blog premium. Trust me, when you see it, you'd expect to pay for it if it turns out the way I expect it to turn out. So my blog design is about to change pretty dramatically, and you'll be able to use the same template, at least if you have a WordPress blog. Now, that being said, I'm an advocate of every platform that's an amazing platform. I just happen to be using WordPress on my personal blog because right now it's kind of what I need, although I am going to be integrating the live video part in the blog template a little tighter than it is today, and hopefully we'll be able to pull that off with some skills. So some things to keep in mind when it comes to your blog's usability, no matter what you happen to be using. Number 1, be predictable. When you want to know what a site's about, the first thing that a visitor looks for is an about page. When they want to contact the owner of a site, the first thing to look for is a contact page and a link. When we want to leave a comment, we usually look at the bottom of the post. When we want to subscribe to a blog, we look for the subscribe button at the top of its sidebar. These things are so common that they've become standards, things we expect. When we can't find the standard, we look for the next most similar thing. By adhering to these predictable standards, I suppose he's using that term loosely, you're actually making it as easy as possible for your blog's visitors to do exactly what you want them to do. Sometimes being predictable is not a bad thing. Number 2, be obvious. Look down at your keyboard and you'll probably be able to spot at least one key that you've never noticed before, either because you've never had a need for it or you don't know what it does. It could be the most useful key ever, but our hesitation when confronted with the unknown has probably stopped you from ever pressing it before. What if it deletes everything you just wrote? We don't like not knowing what the results of our action will be, and so it goes with your blog. Non-obvious links and buttons will rarely ever be clicked. Would a new visitor know what this does or where it leads? Number 3, subtract the unimportant. By hiding important elements, your most popular post, your feed icon, your comment button, amongst a dozen other unimportant things, widgets and recent comments, you're making it harder for readers to do what's truly important, potentially, to you or them. Number 4, limit options. A category list with 10 categories is a lot more usable than a list with 50 categories. Too many options creates overload, which leads to deferral. A visitor will not engage with that element at all. Your list of 5 most popular posts will get clicked more than your list of 20 and so on. Simplified options make it easier for the visitor to decide where they want to place their attention. Too much choice will actually hurt your blog's usability. Number 5, do the little things. A usable blog, aside from the above, is also made up of many little touches that make your visitor's browsing experience easier. Does your header image link back to your main page? Does your blog have an about page? Does your blog have a contact page? Do your headlines match with your content? Is it clear where your links will lead? Do you use frequent paragraphs in your post? Do you have comment links at the bottom of your post? Do you use subheadings? Are your posts less than 2/3 screen length wide? Are you making your best posts easily accessible? Are your links easy to pick out? And there's many things you got to think about and consider. And what I found, I guess, strangely ironic is that Joaquin did not include a link to his blog, if he has one. But judging from this list, he certainly knows what he's talking about, at least from a visitor's perspective. Maybe you think you have the world's most amazing template. If it's doing what it's, supposed to do for you, you're doing well. But a lot of people will complain. They say, well, I'm not getting any visitors. People aren't commenting, yada, yada, yada. Small touches make all the difference in the world. I mean, just huge, gigantic differences in the way that you write a headline, how you format your post, where you format those things, how easy it is for people to follow. Some people have admittedly complained that I put the live video in my blog. I embedded it so it's streaming. I have no choice but to do that. And the reason why is because there have actually been people who had no idea I was live streaming. Like, seriously, they'll say, I had no idea you were doing this. And the problem is that they'll come to me for advice, and then suddenly they'll come to you, the rest of the community, for advice, because they see I'm doing this live streaming thing. Or they don't know where it's at, despite the fact that I say it at the end of every single video that I do, over 1,000 of them, they still don't know. And that's fine, because we all get busy. We either write our own blogs, we read other people's blogs, we are doing things. We get busy. So it's been a good thing and a bad thing, but I think, except for the people using Internet Explorer 6.0, and they are out there. Sorry not to offend if you're using IE6, but it's time to upgrade. If you don't want IE7, fine. Use Firefox. Heck, use Firefox 3 Beta 4, which is the current version that's out now, or Safari, even on Windows or Mac OS X. I guarantee there's not a faster browser on Windows in terms of JavaScript performance than WebKit. That's pretty much Safari. I mean, it trumps. The speed and performance is like night and day. And in the day and age where a lot of people are throwing JavaScript and all these fancy scripts on a page, you need a browser that can handle it. Internet Explorer 6 cannot handle it. Even Microsoft has admitted this. Internet Explorer 7 is maybe a little better, but nowhere in terms of either Firefox 3, even at Beta 4, or Safari 3.1, and currently the latest nightly builds of WebKit, which is the underlying open source component of Safari. So, anyway, I didn't mean to launch into that, but that's something you got to consider too when you're building a blog template is, what kind of people are surfing to your website. I have a good balance of both IE and Firefox users at this point in time. A lot of things you got to keep in mind for the blog. Like I said, stay tuned. I will, of course, be announcing the WordPress theme, the free premium theme, and I'm going to be paying very special attention to it because it's going to be my default theme, and I'm forking over a lot of money. So be liberal with pressing the donation button. I'm sure we'll get some feedback, but I want to make this like, I have to run that theme. And we're going to even put some things in it where you can customize this, that, and the other thing with relative ease. It'll be cool. Stay tuned. Until then, if you got any other tips for blogging, and these are really good things to talk about, things that we don't necessarily consider. Not just what to blog about. I mean, this is my personal blog, chris.pirillo.com. It's personal, so I'm going to write about anything. If I have an idea, if I have a thought, I want to put a video, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's my personal blog. The funniest comment I ever got was someone who was accusing me of being too narcissistic, egotistical in my personal blog. I saved that email. I had it bronzed, and it's over on that wall right now. Funniest comment I ever got. Accused of being too egotistical in my personal blog. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. You can email me about just about anything. Questions, answers, top 5 tips. I see all the emails I get, may not respond to them. And if you get a short message, you're lucky. If you get a wink, you're very lucky. That's usually how I respond. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody who's emailed me before. Well, that's all I get. I pour my heart and soul out, and all I get is a wink. Sorry, I get a lot of email. I invited a lot of email, but I get a lot of email too. And as CAA 1000 says, as seen on CNN.com, well, at least on Thursdays. But I'm here pretty much 24 hours a day. Maybe not in this desk, but the chat room certainly is. And we're typically talking tech. And right now we're waiting for you to stop by, so what are you waiting for? We're at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.